What up, what up, what up? I'm AC Cruz. You know who you are. Welcome to my podcast. What's up? How's it going? Today's guest is Sunny Sauseda, 3-time Grammy Award winner, 2-time Entertainer of the Year at the Tejano Music Awards. Forget about it. Homeboy is kicking ass. We're chatting new music, playing for the people, a new special song that he wrote for his son. Oh yeah, and we also talk about Bobby Pulido, my compadre, his good buddy, and a conversation that was pretty cool. And when you hear it, just remember, show me the money. It's funny shit. So let's go ahead and get into this. Jack it in, do your thing.
On the next AC Cruz podcast.
What you just called me right now, my comadre, who is like a big sister to me, and she is badass. Her name is, she's my comadre. Anyway, and I told her, I said, hey, I gotta go because I have a meeting with Sunny Sauseda, and I don't want to lose my voice. She says, pussy, get out of here.
Ándale, cabrón. Ándale.
I said, no.
I like that tough love.
No, but she's badass, man. The first time that I met her, I was doing a remote. We were on the air, right?
Yeah.
I walked up to her and her friend, and I said, hey, how you doing? I'm AC Cruz from Beautiful 4. She says, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's the first time I met her, Sonny. I kid you not, man.
Like that, huh?
Yeah. And you know what?
Man, boy.
I'm telling you right now, we became the best of friends. My compadre is badass. Anyway, forget about it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
How are you doing, brother? You sound great. What's going on? You look good.
Man, it's been a great year.
You have had a great year, man.
It's been a great year. We've been busier than I expected. One of the busiest years I've ever had, and I'm not complaining.
What I want to congratulate you, Male Entertainer of the Year at this year's Tejano Music Awards.
Thank you.
You didn't expect that, did you?
I didn't expect that. No, I wasn't sure. We won the Entertainer of the Year 2019 and at the Tejano Music Awards, and that was before COVID. So I jokingly said, it'd be great to win that again, because 2019, after we won, was one of the first years that more people were calling me than I was calling. And for those of you that don't know, we're a mom and pop shop, so it's my wife and I. We book the band, we do all the all that stuff. So, man, it was good. So I was like, man, we could do that again. And then COVID hit, of course, and it knocked us out, right?
Yeah.
So here we are again. Now we won 2022. So let's see what 2023 brings. We're already booking 2023, 2024.
As a matter of fact, you just recently did a meet and greet autograph session, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a meet and greet in Abilene, Texas at the Chico's at the mall there. And it went great. It's always a good time, and it's been a while since we've been to Abilene. So much love and saludos to Pete and all the crew, of course, and Alex, Olivo, all of them. And it was great. We had a good time. I call it squeezing the juice, squeezing every drop out of that, performance that, we're going to be in Abilene. Let's go, do a meet and greet. Let's go to the radio station. If it's on a Friday, sometimes I try to go to an elementary school and go perform for the kids. I like to go the extra, do the extra stuff.
You know what? That's what I admire about you, because you've been doing this formula, if you will, for quite a while, man.
Yeah, I have. It's been working, and I just believe that it's not all about the gigs, right? Just the gig and let's go show up and play and make money. No, I think it's important to sit down and, even if it's, like I said, a meet and greet at a restaurant, you get to meet the people, the owners, the clientele, and from that, it's a springboard for a lot of other things, and in this any business, you're consistently planting seeds, and it's a long game. You never know. You cultivate them, and you never know what happens.
You talk about the radio stations. What are the radio stations in Abilene right now?
The radio station in Abilene is, of course, La Voz 93.3 with Pete Garcia. And he's, he took over that station, and he's doing great. As a matter of fact, I think he bought another radio station. So he's doing great. So it's locally owned, and, that's awesome.
That's awesome. You know what? And it's unfortunate that you and I had this discussion a while back about some of the, let's go ahead and come out and say it, Corpus Christi, KSAB. It's the only, if I'm, I could be wrong, the only 100,000 watt Tejano radio station, and it's run by nobody knows.
Nobody knows. It's a mystery.
Nobody knows. But you can't visit radio stations because there's nobody there, and it's a shame that you had 100,000 watt powerhouse.
No, it's kind of scary, honestly, because that's a big station to have, and we don't want to lose that frequency, that format. Because I mean, at a radio station of that magnitude could easily be flipped to something much easier.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you do you go the extra mile, man.
You have to. You definitely have to. I think that's really important. We don't have that herd mentality. Call it the herd mentality. This band doesn't do that. Well, we're not that band. We go the extra mile. And I think that it pays tenfold. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to a branding manager about that. He said, "Yeah, dude, that pays dividends. There's no amount of money I could buy that for you."
When was the last time you were here? Can you recall? 3 years ago?
The last time I was here is when I installed that boom on your desk. How old is that boom? Go look at your Amazon.
You're not gonna let me live that down, man. Nobody. I would say right now to the subscribers and the listeners, I had these two microphones like this with the boom mic and the arm, and I had them sitting in the box there, and like I'm like Sunny. I order everything over Amazon. My microphone, my desktop, my entertainment center, my desk, my recording desk. No, forget about it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Even the mixer, the headphones. Anyway, what I'm saying is Sunny was nice enough to install these microphones on the booms, man. Basically, I put his ass to work 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I used to tinker in the studio, so it's fun to do stuff like that. I'm kind of a nerd like that. Not everybody knows I'm a nerd.
Since you've been here the last time, our listenership has grown dramatically. You have no idea. Awesome. Raymond Madrigal, who listens in Singapore. I want to mention Rebecca Cranston, who listens in Australia. I want to say hello to Sean Farrell, who listens in Ireland, and of course, all the people that live across the state, the United States, as well as Mexico. It's phenomenal, man. Oh, and you were part of it. Man.
I guess I was, man. I appreciate it, man. I remember when your podcast came out, and I heard about it. I said, man, I want to be on that podcast. That's AC Cruz, man. That's the guy.
You know what? Let's go ahead and start real quick. You've been here before. We talked about how you started out, but give us the 911 version of how you started and how you wound up to where you are right now.
Oh man, I've been playing music for such a long time. It's like I said, I started out as a kid playing with my dad's band, Forward Wine 10, 12, 13, 14 years later. I joined Eddie Gonzalez by accident. It was just kind of, I wasn't going to play accordion, I was going to play bajo. Then we did that for a little bit. It went great. And here's this kid that came out of nowhere from the flea markets and is on the big stage. We had a big hit. Then things didn't work out. Then my idea was, well, let's just do what we do. We'll just replace the singer. I will train him. And then hence Art Tijerina was born.
By the way, thank you so much for putting us in contact with each other.
Yeah, man. Art's cool people. Art is, the last time I talked to Art, he had actually, I don't know if he talked about this, but I know he had seen like a tragedy. He saw somebody like get run over, some kid get run over. It was ugly when we talked. So he was in a very delicate state when I talked to him, and he was like, when something like that, a death in the family, or you see something like that, it really just kind of brings you back to your mortality, makes you realize that, hey, and it. Right now, this next second, we could be gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no problem, man. So Art Tijerina did great, great vocalist. He was a country singer that sang Tejano, and that's how I saw him when I hired him, or I convinced the guys to hire him. And then I did that for a little bit. Then I had a lot of creative energy, man. I was doing duets with Shelly, and I wasn't even the singer yet. I was doing studio work. I was working on music. That's what I do. Art works on cars. I work on music. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And that's just what I love to do. I don't know anything about golf, hunting, fishing. I don't know any of it. I play music. That's what
Yeah.
I do. Then I left. We won a few Grammys, and then at that point, we decided to part ways with Vida. I kind of went through a little depression, and then my wife's like, "What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit and watch TV all day, or are you gonna do something?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I'll do something." And here we are,
There you go.
17 years later.
It's
17
17
years
years. I
later.
was say 17 years later, you're still kicking
Yeah.
ass, man.
Man, it's been a great ride. I've been very fortunate, very blessed. I learned from that experience, from those experiences, that when you hire and you put together a team, you get more when you hire musicians that are family men, that are married, that are committed. Because number one, if they're married, they are committed to somebody, right? They have kids, have a job, they know what it is, right? But if you
Okay.
get wild cards, and so it's hard. So did that, and then I made it very family oriented. So we are a family unit. So you coddle the whole team. You coddle the wives, the children, like bring them into what we're doing, right? And that has worked for us. It really has.
I do want to commend you on you and your wife. You do have a special needs child, and you do I guess it is a benefit or a show at Market Square all the time. Can you please
Yeah.
enlighten me?
Of course, it's the Accessibility Fest, and it's run by Melanie Calhoun, and she started it about, I want to say, like 16 years ago or more. And they're advocating for special needs children, and it's just it was already there, but they didn't have any. They had a DJ, they had like a stage, and one of my friends, Steve Rodriguez, his son is special needs, and they invited me to the festival. I saw it. I said, "Man, we should have we should do something for them. Let's play for them." A lot of parents with special needs kids don't get to go check out live music. They just
Sure.
don't get to.
Sure.
And that was a perfect place. They were already there.
Yeah.
So let's just plug ourselves into that community, and let's do something. Let's give something back.
Yeah.
We're not going to charge. We're just going to do it for free. And man, it's so much fun. It's so rewarding. I've met so many people through that organization. No amount of money could buy that kind of, feeling. And, the zoo wants to work with us now. And, other people see that and they're like, I got calls from the, oh my gosh, the CBs, I think. I think it's a Navy unit.
Yeah.
Or Marine unit. But, just to, kind of donate our time. And I don't mind. I love to give back. I've been doing this for 40 years now.
Yeah.
Since I was 5 years old. So,
Yeah.
I think that, one gig, 2 gigs, 3 gigs a year out of the, let's say we do play once a week, 52 gigs at the very minimum. I mean, that's nothing. That's
Sure.
nothing. And it's what we love to do.
Congratulations on the festival that you do every year, and continued success. Just so people know that have maybe family members or they're involved with special needs, give them some information to visit the festival.
Absolutely. It's the website is accessibilityfest.com. Accessibilityfest.com. And they have a t-shirt called "My Ability is Fierce." So they have a whole slogan, everything. They have a superhero. I'm working on some other stuff for them.
Very cool.
I should have been a branding manager. I came up with this whole idea, like a whole tour and everything. And I told them, they're like, "What?" I was like, "I'm telling you, it's a work. I know it'll work."
Hey, listen, regarding touring and everything, now you did mention you won the Grammys, but you on tour with the Dixie Chicks, and that was a whole different experience for you, man.
Yeah, it was, man. It was awesome. The girls were real cool. They were. I mean, I was giving Emily Robeson accordion lessons, and that's how that whole thing came about. And Emily, they were like the biggest stars in the world at that time.
Yeah.
And this is like Emily, and then they're like, "Hey, this is Sunny Sauseda," and they were very like, this is the best accordion player in the world, and I'm like, she would embarrass me every time, like, "No, I'm not," but okay. And they were just real sweet, dude. They were real sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you could imagine, you had doctors, you had yoga guys, you had the chefs there, you had if you wanted to order something for the next day, hey, I want this for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get it for you. Unlimited access to alcohol. But it was like a family show, so it wasn't as crazy as, like, it was real kind of chill backstage. It was very Like everybody thinks backstage is like crazy party. It was no, it's very overrated. No, this is we were chill. I think at that time I was in charge of finishing the beer. That was my job. Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that would
And
be
I
my
made sure.
that would be my
Yeah,
job también.
that was my job. So I gotta make sure this beer is gone. I don't want it to go
You know
bad.
what's
So
crazy? Usually I have a beer when I do my podcast with the guests,
yeah.
but I'm drinking a Coca Cola right now.
That's all right, man. That's okay. But,
Anyway, oh yes, so you mentioned family again, and you
yeah,
are a family man, and
yes,
you treat your band like that, family.
dude. I'm telling you, my drummer has been with me for 14 years, and if he was here with me, he would tell you that nowhere in the industry, is there a tighter unit. We're so tight. Most places you go, you're the guitar player,
Yeah,
and then you go home,
yeah,
and you don't hear from them all week.
yeah.
I literally call every guy every Monday, or I'll call them and say, "Hey, how's it going? What you doing? What's going on?" And I just, give them shit or just kind of just see how they're doing, because I think, I just think it's important to stay connected, right? And we're real tight. Like I said, we get together for Halloween at my house. We get together for my kids' party. I would go as
Well,
far as saying my band is probably closer to me than my own blood family.
now
You
when you
know that
mentioned your group and family, you treat them like
mhm,
that, and that's
I
because
do.
they back you up on stage no matter what. But what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
you did something special. Where I'm going with this is the fact that you got them into the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame.
I did. I did. I did. I kind
Can
of
you please explain?
well, that every year you can submit. Every year you can submit. And anybody can submit, as a matter of fact. And I called the president. And I got inducted several years back, and we had already talked about it. Honestly, he said, "Man, we can, get your band, and you have to meet the qualifications." And I talked to every guy, and I had talked to them the year prior, but I just think that you know being a musician, sometimes you work hard, and you don't get the credit you deserve. You don't get the recognition you deserve. Usually it's the lead guy that gets the credit, right? And I've been on the other side of that fence, right? I've been on that this, so I just think that I thought it was important that I make an effort. And I asked the guys, "Hey, please give me your bios. I needed to, you have to have I think like 15 years of experience, and just like a resume. I played with this band, boom, and this
Yeah,
band from year to
yeah,
year, boom."
yeah.
And I just think it's important to get some kind of recognition, and that was my little way of doing it. So I think it's pretty cool. It
Cool.
feels good. I'm excited about it. I am. They're like, we're grown men, but to me, my band is still, they're like my kids. They take care of me, but I take care of them.
Sure. Now, when you do recording in the studio, do you take them or do you use other musicians?
No, I use my band. We do pre-production. We rehearse usually when we're not touring as heavily. We've been touring really heavily since this year, but typically we rehearse on Wednesdays. Our rehearsal times on Wednesdays, and so I've gotten asked to do other interviews on Wednesdays, and I'm like, man, I have rehearsal, brother. I can't. It's my rehearsal day,
Yeah.
and we rehearse. We do pre-production. I mean, we'll do 12, 14, 15-hour pre-production sessions, like on a Saturday or on a Sunday.
Now, for the listeners, the subscribers that are digging this
Yes.
interview right now, can you explain to them what is pre-production?
Okay, pre-production is basically at that point, there's different levels or stages in the pre-production level. When I have the band together, at that point I already picked out the songs. I already figured out the keys of the songs. I've already figured out if I want it to be a polka ranchera or whatever it's going to be. And then I kind of have an idea of what I want it to sound like, the arrangement. So we're basically arranging a song that's already been picked, and we put an arrangement to it, and we just kind of tweak it, come up with ideas. Sometimes I already have an idea, and there's so many different ways to skin a cat. But that's one of the ways that we do it. I'm kind of old school, so I like to kind of, I think that if you surround yourself with people that are not like-minded, like my band, they're Greg's a big Tejano head, Americo's a big, heavy metal head. Alec is, I don't know, he likes soft rock. My cousin that plays keyboards, Raymond, he likes reggaeton, and I like everything. I like
Sure,
conjunto, I
sure.
like jazz, I like everything. So it's kind of like a capirotada of ideas from different. So I like to pull from that. I don't like to just be me.
But correct me
You
if I'm
know,
wrong when you say pre-production. That means you get everything ready. So when you go into the studio, because studio time is expensive, no?
it is expensive. Yes, I have a rig at the house, like a recording equipment and stuff, and I record. I'm always record ready to begin with. I record at rehearsals, and so I just have a very simple makeshift rig because I I wanted to be an engineer, but I tinker. But I just at one point I realized, you know what, I'm nerding out on the technical side. I'm really a musician. Yeah, I'm nerding out on all the it does this and I need to be creative. So I need to get my ideas in. So I downgraded to like a simple Logic, and I just want to capture my ideas. And then by the time we learn the parts, figure out the parts, then we have it recorded, we save it, then we come back and rehearse it, learn it. That way, when we go to the studio, I mean, we knock it out in 1, 2 takes, 3 takes, and at the most, and that's it. We're done. We
So
are
if you don't mind
done.
me asking, what studio do you use? Who do you use?
The last one I did, I'm kind of a troubadour when it comes to that now. I used to get into these like, oh, I only want to go here or I want to go there only. So now I did one track in San Luis Potosí with JJ Silva and Ulises Emanuel,
Really?
who in Rio Verde. Yeah, Solo Sea, the first single was recorded in Mexico in Monterrey, in San Luis,
Mhm.
and I wanted a different vibe. I just wanted to go and kind of feel that vibe. So I went over there and it was awesome. And they tore me to shreds on my vocals, like all my enunciation, my diction. Oh man, they tore me up.
But you
And
appreciate that.
oh, absolutely, man. I mean, a wise man only knows that he knows nothing.
Good
So I'm
call.
always
Good
learning.
call.
I always want to learn.
You need to work on your diction, on your
Absolutely.
pronunciation, and it
Yes.
needs to be correct, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And those guys are on point. And then I did a track at Spencer Ramsell's studio here in Shirts, and that guy is like a gear snob. I mean, this guy had like $32,000 microphones in his. He built out his upper level of his house, but it was professionally built, like a room within a room with all the bushings, all except had his own separate power. That was a separate power conditioner, like just specifically you could control the voltage. It was next level, dude. That guy, and he was a Cavacho, but I had supervising the mix was Tony Gonzalez, who recorded Eddie Gusto, who recorded a lot of the La Sombra. He worked at Zaz, and he's recorded Tocable, big time dude. But I wanted a different sound, so that's why I went there.
Just so that the subscribers know that SAS
Yes,
Studios is a famous studio that
yes,
Mas recorded at.
yes,
Uh, anybody did SAS, as well
yes,
as Amen Studios with Manny Guerra, all those guys.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, big time studio. So and then I needed to finish the album by August for the Tejano convention, and that's where Gilbert Velasquez came into play. And I don't know if we talked about this last time, but Gilbert was my Phil Jackson, right? He's the one that, if anybody knows the story of Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant, how Kobe realized that he needed Phil to win a championship, because he didn't like him, and Gilbert, I love Gilbert to death, and he's such a great guy. He's a little quirky, and he knows it. I tell him all the time, we have a special relationship, and I said, you're kind of quirky, man, because you just kind of blurt stuff out. But I love that, and you need sometimes like somebody like him to keep you on schedule. Like I said, I need to have the album done by this time. Okay, then we're gonna get it done. I need you to come in, do this. I need you to come in with 3 songs every time. And he was just like, let's go. What's next? Let's go. And he kept me on track. So the point is that sometimes you have to be put in an uncomfortable position to be able to perform better. So that's what Gilbert was to me. Like he delivered. And I mean, I know, so this is why Gilbert is so great, because he is 24/7 studio. He is about getting it done. He knows, and we had a big talk about the mix. We had a big talk about production, and, he liked it. He was actually, kind of like giving me ideas. And, he said, the thing is that I've been doing this so long. I know what we can get away with, things that will break the record, that won't make the record. So, I kind of let my guard down and just kind of said, okay, Gilbert, I'm going to trust you. And let's go. Let's just tell me what we need to do. And man, it worked out great. So, I mean, mis respetos para Gilbert. We've worked together before, but not on a whole album project, not on a whole Sunny Sauseda project. So it's my first time working with him, and man, he did great. And we talked about the mix. I said, hey, Gilbert, I know you mix Ram and Jay and David Mares. He said, I know, stop. I know where you're going with this. I know what you want. I said, yeah, basically a rock band that has accordion. And he said, I know where you're going, and I love it. Okay, cool.
So you did part of it in San Luis Potosí, you did part of it in Shirts, and you did part of it with Gilbert.
Finished it out with Gilbert.
Awesome, man. Now, that song that I told you, I called you from out of nowhere. Oh, my God. I said, dude, is this you, man? You said, yeah, that's me. I said, dude, it does not sound like you, man. I dig this shit.
I'm telling you, I recorded on this special mic that I had never used before. It sounded so good on my voice, and I was so impressed with it. And then, like I said, Spencer Ramsell had he mixed it, and he gave it a different sound. He really did. And then, but it was arranged by JJ Silva. We kind of tweaked it, but it still came out kind of Tejano-y, and I
dug it. Dude, for me to call you and to tell you, dude,
oh no,
this is a fucking jam, man.
I believe it, dude. I mean, I was surprised. Even I think Bobby even like tell me, hey, dude, that's a good song. Hey, Bobby's one of my biggest, like he's like, it's my dog. He's always like, he'll tell me, hey, that's a good song, bro. I like it.
Speaking of Bobby, we're gonna talk about him in a minute, okay?
Yeah. All right.
But that song that I love, that I called you on, who wrote that song? What was it about? Tell me.
Pa' mi todita, it was, I was listening to a lot of, at that time, I was listening to a lot to, oh my God, Carlos Vives. I was listening to a lot of Carlos Vives. I love Carlos Vives, his music.
Okay.
And I called Ulises Manuel. I said, hey, dude, can you write me something kind of like, Carlos Vives, that, I love his phrasing. I love the melodies he uses, something along that vein. And he said, oh, sí, Sonny. So it's Ulises Manuel. Ulises Manuel writes for he writes for Cuisillos. He writes for Voz de Mando.
Yeah.
He writes for, Banda Recodo. He writes for, he is a big writer, and I have no business working with him because he's such a big writer. He's a big time writer.
Pero se presta.
He's bien buena gente, man, and we just kind of hit it off. And he's kind of given me several songs on a few albums now, and we just kind of formed a relationship. And him and JJ Silva, it's his partner, Charlie Castellanos, another guy in San Luis. But the ones I wrote, it was Ulises Manuel and Charlie Castellanos. And man, Ulises is such a great writer, man. He is up there with like Carlos Macias. Sure. He used to be under the same management. And I don't know if you know who Carlos Macias is.
Yeah.
If you don't, oh my gosh, Carlos Macias writes for telenovelas.
Yeah.
And Ulises actually was nominated for it's like an Emmy for the Spanish movies in Mexico.
Right. Now, that song did not sound like your style, but you pulled it off. You pulled it off, man.
Man, I'm like a chameleon. I just kind of, I'm going through this, I think for the next, till maybe when I turn 80, maybe I'll go straight back to Conjunto. But, I'm an artist, man. I'm kind of just like, I'm kind of like going with the wind and, being creative and coming up with new ideas, because that's who I am. Everybody has their niche, right? Everybody has, Fito Olivares had his sound and that was it. And so, but I'm just loving it. I'm loving the process.
You and I had this discussion about Steve Jordan. Steve Jordan is one of your all-time favorites.
He's one of my all-time favorites. He taught me what to do and what not to do.
And to talk about chameleon, that's one right there, man.
Hey, he's one of my favorites, bro. He's one of my biggest idols, and he's one of my mentors. He was one of them. When I was I think 6 or 7, I said, how do I get that good? He said, well, you need to learn jazz and you need to learn salsa.
Yeah.
Those are the most advanced musics. And learn that and you'll be fine.
And the guy played 63 instruments, man. And, and some of the stuff that he produced, forget about it, man. Rancancan, El Cocodrilo, ¿qué más? El Gancho.
Polkaplex. And he covered a lot of jazz stuff, that Midnight Blues, and which is, you can hear Sarah Vaughan sing it or Al Jarreau sing it. But he did it, and man, he was just next level. I don't know. I can't even think of anybody who who did what he did. Like Joel Guzman is a jazz improvisation. He has a degree in it, but he doesn't use that degree for that style of, Steve Jordanisms, right? He does
Yeah.
his more world, pop, culture kind of, organic sounding music, which is amazing as well. But Steve was straight like jazz, like no, 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 no. This is where I'm at, psychedelic, and
Yeah.
I admire that about Steve, and he kind of never really strayed away from that.
Well, you know what? I admire that about you, that you're able to go with that sound that you came out with. It's la cumbia.
Oh, thank you, man. I mean, it's that one just came out organically, just happened naturally, and it's hopefully we can do more of that. I mean, a lot of people liked it. Even Johnny Ramirez called me about that song. It was crazy.
Generally, we just don't know shit.
Well, that's true too.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And he knows that. I love to get that boy shit. Anyway, I want to talk to you about your next album, man.
I think the next album is going to be an EP. I think we're going to do an EP on the next one. And because right now, we did a full CD, and, people buy more merch than they buy CDs now. So I had done an EP on the DFM album, but people were complaining about it. But now, I mean, people will buy the freaking merch before they buy the CD now because everybody's streaming it.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do an EP on the next one. I have a few ideas, but nothing solid. For sure, I know we have to do, some more of the, the ranchera, the aggressive stuff. That's the thing. I think, I don't know who I told. Maybe it was homie Marco or, and people listening like, who is he talking about? These are radio. I talk to a lot of radio people, folks. And so I think, or was it Dan Payne? I don't know. Maybe it was you. But the thing is that I've done so many different styles, so many different ideas. But on the show, in our live performances, lo que la gente se prende, like the people go crazy over the accordion abuse. And I've been doing that for, man, since 94, 95. But people still love it. And now more than ever because, well, quite frankly, nobody's doing it.
You're right. Nobody's doing it. You're right.
A mi respetos a, Signo and Sólido, Intocable, and Duelo, and Jay, and, David, and Little Joe, and, Ruben Ramos. But they do what they do, and I love what they do. But, we're kind of in our own little niche, right?
Yeah.
So, I can stand there if I want to, but, man, people get after me.
Yeah. Because they want to see you move.
They want to see me move, and they want to see the action. And so at the end of the day, that always overshadows everything I've done. I mean, I've done albums where all I'm doing is singing.
Yeah.
Si quieres, and, I'm doing falsettos and all these cool things. And they're like, hey, can you do that? I was like, I'm like, oh, man, really? Yeah.
You got to give the people what they want,
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. And it's always a balancing act, right? The creative guy wants to do all these other things, and then then there's also you have to, I don't play for musicians. I do not play for musicians. I play for the people.
Yeah, for sure.
So the musicians, I said this last time, as it turns out, most of the time musicians are not going to buy your album. I mean, at least some will. I mean, I think, of course, the hardcore, like, I used to buy all kinds of records, but, the people are the ones that that's what they want. So you got to give it to them. You got to give them what they want. Got to give them the juice.
Yeah. That being said, Sonny, we talked about the Latin Grammys and the fact that Bobby, Destiny, Isabel Marie, Grupo Alamo. So anyway, these guys were nominated and they had some good music. I'm going to be the first to tell you, Destiny's album is freaking amazing, man. And you said the same thing.
Oh my gosh, dude. That thing is next level, brother. Next level.
Don't you agree?
I do agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I am I am very biased to Elida Reina because I love Elida Reina.
Sure.
But oh my gosh, Destiny, I even messaged her like mija, oh my gosh. And I messaged her producer, Manuel.
Yeah.
Y le dije, hijo, te sacaste la man, se tiraron big time. Y dijo, ese disco no le puedo hallar nada de mal. I've looked and listened and I
Tenía,
can't find anything I don't like.
deja tú, tenía tango, tenía cumbia, tenía norteño, tenía
Oh my God.
tejano. It was just, I think it was a great album, man.
It was kind of almost a pop tejano, pop norteño, regional tejano. Era una mezcla, but it was really good, brother. It was so good. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it was just the quality was there. I said the only thing I could find that I didn't like, or that I said I could have, I wanted some more clarity on her voice. What microphone did you use, or what did you do? I said that's all I could think of. I could not find anything wrong with it. Now you're nitpicking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can't find anything. I mean, usually I'll listen to it, like, oh. But no, that album was muy bien hecho, the lyrics, everything.
So,
and because I'm an outside the box kind of guy.
So when you say you don't play music for other musicians, you play it for the public, but you do listen to other artists.
I'll listen to other artists. I like to listen to their records to see what they're doing, and I listen quickly. I listen. You don't want to listen to music with me because I listen to like the first. I mean, I probably could have been a program director because I just listened to like the first. Yeah, I'm serious. I listen to the first 15 seconds. If the intro's too long, I'm like, oh man, really? Why?
Well, when I was a program director, I used to listen to the hook.
Well, I know, but if it takes forever to get to the hook, then what? There's no point.
But
there's no point.
I don't think you would make a good program director because.
Oh, really?
I'm just
Tell
kidding.
me enlighten me.
Oh yeah,
no. That's it. I'm gonna go into radio now. That's it.
I'm gonna start playing accordion, yo. Getting back to the Latin Grammys and the awards. Talking with my compadre Bobby.
Wooby.
First of all, I said, dude, I wanted to wait a couple of days after. So I know people are calling you like crazy, congratulating you. What I did tell him, I said, dude, I dug your acceptance speech. He says to me, thank you, man. He said,
oh my God. Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I said the same thing. I texted him like, brother, I mean, that was a great acceptance speech. You didn't, get up there and, no la cagates, man. You know, I've heard their acceptance speeches and, con respetos, but, it's just, that's your night. That's your time to shine. We are amongst our peers. And you just want to go out there and, be positive. And he said all the right things. I mean, it was like, I couldn't have said it better. You
know why he said that? First of all, people were not slamming him, but they were saying that they had him sitting at the very back. And the reason why he said, I'm sitting at the back, because win or lose, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because he had a gig in Monterrey the following day. Mm-hmm. So he said, you know what? The fact that I won, it was cool for me to go through that room all the way from the back to the front, accept my award. And like I said, I dug the speech. The reason I said that is because this DJ who interviewed him, he says, why is Tejano music dead? And Bobby said, it's not dead. That's why he said what he said at the very end. We are a genre. We are a people. So Tejano music is not dead.
No, it's not. I think we don't have the visibility we once had. So that's a misnomer that people, they interpret that as it's not here dead, but that couldn't be anything further from the truth than what they're saying.
That's why he said what he said. And right after that, when he accepted the award, it was straight to the airport to catch a flight. And luego he flew from Vegas to Austin, drove from Austin to the Valley. The Valley picked up his sister, his dad, who did a show the following day, sold out show in Monterrey. And then from there, he went to San Luis Potosí, someplace in Mexico. So anyway, it was great for him to receive the award. But you know what? Back to work.
Absolutely. No, that's great, man. I wish you would have gone to the after party. You would have made some great connections.
He did tell me that you guys had this. Hold on. You know where I'm going with this. Hold on. I'm laughing. Hold on. Because he said, I had a discussion with Sunny Sauseda about this.
Yes.
Please share us what happened, man.
So Bobby and I were talking, and, we were talking about, I don't even know why we were talking. I think we were talking about songwriters. The thing about Bobby and I is that when we talk, it always turns into shop talk. Like it turns into 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour conversation, right? Talking shop.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about, I think it finally came up about the Grammy. It was kind of like the elephant in the room, but nobody was saying anything. Like I didn't say anything. Yeah. He didn't say anything. He's like, and then he's like, oh yeah, the nominee. So yeah, I said, that's cool, man. Congratulations. That's great, brother. He said, well, you already have some, right? I said, well, yeah. So how many have two? I said, no, I have three. And he's like, oh, three. Sorry. I said, man, well, that's awesome, man. It's supposed to nadie te lo quita, but I said, the thing is this. I mean, I would rather take, your $20,000 gigs, and you can have my Grammys. I'll take your $20,000 gigs. You can keep the Grammys. I said, man,
And you know what though? When he told me that, I said, dude, that's fucking hilarious, man.
It is, man, because I mean, Grammys are like Olympic medals, right? You have
They're
it's what
good.
you do with them.
Exactly.
It's not a bad way to start.
Yeah.
Not a bad way to start my solo career. I ended up with 2 Grammys, and David Lee and Joel didn't go, so it almost looked like I won alone, but I didn't win alone. And but so it because they didn't go.
But yet you're still doing gigs, and you're grateful. You're grateful.
I'm grateful for it.
But Bobby, you said I'd rather do your shit. You're doing 20, 30 grand a gig.
Yes.
I'd rather have that. You can take my Grammys. Give me the money, Jingo.
Give me the money, baby. Show me the money. I was like, man, I mean, we're over here. You're a fat cat right now, man. I said, shoot, I'll take that any day.
But I think the fact that you and Bobby, and I'm sure this is with other fellow musicians, that you guys talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the he's done so great. He just played it real smart, and he came out along with many of my colleagues, my predecessors during the heyday.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when I started doing it, it's when everybody had pulled out of the business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, that is the what they have, what they've created, what they've maintained, all those top tier artists is from they're the what I would call the the aftermath of the majors, right?
Yeah.
As long as they stay relevant, they were going to be okay. And he's in Mexico City, he's in movies, he's in telenovelas. I mean, he took it another step.
I think it was kind of cool. He said, you know what, win or lose, I got to get out of here. I got a gig.
That's awesome.
That was great.
I'm telling you, I mean, I think that, my opinion, and it's just my opinion. I haven't talked to him, and when he listens to this, I'm like, you kind of should have stayed, bro. You should have stayed for the after party, because there are so many people that are there that want to work, right? And they'll work with you eventually, but the thing is that, you got to execute while the iron is hot, right?
Yeah.
And you're there, you got the medallion on, you won. People are networking left and right at that thing.
Yeah.
And he's also Bobby Pulido, so he already has his 27 years behind him. Now he has the Grammy behind him, so those are all tools. I think that it would have been so good for him to go, honestly, but I understand you have to work, but that's it's one of those things, where you're planting seeds and then you cultivate them, and that's the name of the game in any business.
Well, what I dug the most is that the gig in Monterrey was with his dad and his little sister, who came out of retirement, Alba Pulido, and
You're
now
telling me.
Yeah, man. So that's great.
Awesome.
Anyway, listen, your stuff, your music, you are working on a new Christmas song.
I am. I'm working on a new Christmas song. I'm also working on a new song the song you're talking about is for the La Virgen. It's for Christmas, and we're working on it right now. So hopefully we're done with it, but I'm excited about it. And so we've been doing that. So many projects I want to get done, and we've just been so blessed with so much work. And the radio has been spinning our music, and people are calling us now with TikTok, man. I'm telling you, people are coming out from everywhere, calling us for gigs, and booking us for 2023, 2024. So, and now we're like, I say that the music business, we're always behind, right? Like we're like, to people from the outside, oh man, that guy's bigger than life. He's charging, $15,000. We're not there yet, right? But the thing is that you're always behind of what you're actually doing, because the gigs you're doing now are the gigs you booked the year, like months before.
Sure. And you said at the very beginning, you had a good year, man.
We had a great year, and I can't complain.
And the fact that you won the Entertainer of the Year.
And I actually won Top Entertainer for the Tejano Awards.
Yeah.
Yes. And that one is a peer-based award. And that one is, I believe, they have a lot of industry insiders that are kind of voting on that. And so that was pretty special to me too. And we got to perform in the Valley, and they treated us really well. Mando San Roman, Al, is it Al Munoz?
Balde Munoz.
Lalo, Balde Munoz, I'm sorry. Balde Munoz, Lalo, Reina Singer, I believe.
Yeah.
Mike and the board, and they were really cool to us. We had a great time. We got to close out that show. That's the thing. What I'm telling you is there's a change in the tide. I mean, we used to be the guys that would either like open up the show, and now we're closing shows, big pavilions, big culture centers, and I look back and I'm like, wow, I remember when I first started, and it was an uphill battle. The whole drama with Vida and, all that stuff. Oh my gosh. So, that's a whole other,
Speaking of new venues, Sunny, what about the awards, the Tejano Music Awards at that new venue?
It was really good. They had a little bit of logistical issues with the limos and parking. It was a little bit, they didn't expect to happen what happened, but I think for the most part, overall, it was really good experience. Now, I can't speak for everybody. Like I said, now, we're 17 years deep into this new, what Sunny 2.3.0, right? Whatever this is, right? Sunny told us. So now it's, we're tenured, we're grandfathered in. And so things are a lot easier now, right?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to you,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They make sure they take care of us. And I mean, I've been playing the fanfare and the awards for many, many years. Man, since I went on my own, I've been playing almost every year. And so, that they appreciate that. And, Frank Salazar, Robert Arellano, Bino G, Felix, they're always really good to us, and if there's a hiccup or a gap in communication, they make sure to immediately fix it.
That's a given in any.
Yeah, there's always going to be issues.
Sure. I'm glad you had a great year, and I'm glad you won the Entertainer of the Year. Congratulations to all the winners for the Tejano Music Awards, as well as my Tejano from the Valley. I want to thank you for taking the time to visit with me. This was supposed to happen weeks ago, but that's okay. You have your accordion there with you.
I do.
You said you're going to give us some kind of treat for the holidays, or algo así, ¿no?
I am. Yes, I am. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me go get my accordion. I forgot about it.
Estevato. Don't worry about that.
Here we go. Let me get the... Yeah, sir.
But by the way, how was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was good, man. We kind of... the kids kind of got the flu. One of them got the flu. The other one wasn't feeling great. So we kind of just stayed home, and we had our own little thing. House. We didn't want to get anybody sick. So
what do you have planned for Christmas coming up?
Probably be home. We'll probably be home. We're playing every weekend from here on out to the end of the year.
Good.
And I think New Year's Eve, we're either going to go to Arizona or I think San Angelo or something like that. One of the two. But New Year's Eve is kind of one of those days where our families, and it's a good gig, but it's just to be right. It just has to be right.
Cool. So what are you going to play for us for the holidays?
I'll do little jingle bells for you.
Ahora sí.
Let's see. See if I can see if I remember this song. You're putting me on the spot right now. Come on.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Sunny, thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate that, and look forward to your new music. And again, it's called La Virgen.
The new music, where we're going to be working on the song for La Virgen, of course, for during Christmas. And we're still promoting the latest album, After Party, and it's on sunnysauseda.net. It's on all digital platforms. You can book us there. You can reach us there. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can get a hold of us, and we're just doing that. The latest song, Así Como Pago, the only ranchera in the world with a death metal scream. Yeah, for sure. And we have a new single coming out pretty soon, and that one is going to be, that's the one you're talking about for Christmas. It's going to be a very touching song. It's a song I wrote for my son. So I can't wait for y'all to hear it, and I can't wait for y'all to see the video. And man, we just can't wait to see you at the next show. Make sure to reach out to us, call us, WhatsApp us, text us, email us, whatever makes your little heart go pitter patter, pitter patter.
Yeah. Sunny, thanks again. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, AC. Appreciate you.
No. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. Continued success. Sunny Sauseda. We're out the door. But before I go, gotta thank Jacqueline, the voice girl, Romeo, TejanoNation.net, and more importantly, you, the listeners, the subscribers. If you like the podcast, tell your friends. If your friends don't like it, find new friends. So chill to the next episode of the AC Cruise Podcast. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, however you like to say it. Much love, be safe.